Welcome to MSD Learning World.
Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to see how to find the time complexity of an algorithm. Already we have seen the methodology of finding the space complexity of an algorithm. The thing that you want to remember while finding the space complexity of the algorithm is whenever a program contains only the data variables and it does not contain any other data structures and if it does not have any looping structures, then the program will have only order of 1, which is a constant space complexity. If the program contains the data structures like arrays, list, then we will be having the space complexity as linear space complexity of order of n. So now what we want to find, one more method for finding the efficiency of the algorithm is time complexity. So when we consider time complexity and say space complexity, which one is more important? So as of now, when we find the complexity of an algorithm, time complexity will be more important than the space complexity, because the response time of any algorithm or any application must be more efficient than this storage allocation. So now time efficiency is more important for an algorithm to analyze its efficiency. So whenever we have many algorithm for a single problem, we try to find the time complexity of the algorithm, and it is taken as a major factor. So now in this video we will see how to find the time complexity of any algorithm, or how you will make the time complexity for all the different data structures, and we will see some examples also. The time complexity of an algorithm specifies the total execution time taken by your algorithm to complete the execution so that it gives the desired output. So whenever we find the time complexity of the algorithm, we must have an efficient time complexity in the worst case analysis of the algorithm. So we have a notation, namely big O notation, which is a asymptotic notation. It is used for specifying the worst case complexity of any algorithm. Always the asymptotic growth is nothing but where there is an asymptotic growth between the input and output. Here whenever we find the time complexity, we have two factors as the size of the input and the execution time. So in the asymptotic notation, in the big O notation, there is a direct relationship between the size of the input taken by your program and the execution time. So when we take a big O notation, as the number of size of the input increases, the rate of growth of the size of the input and the time taken to execute the program, it grows in the same order. That is what is the asymptotic growth. Whether the growth can either be directly proportional or it may be an inversely proportional. But the big O notation is used for analyzing the worst case complexity for any algorithm. Always your algorithm must perform with the less time complexity in its worst case time. And here the time taken by each and every step present in your algorithm taken into account for finding the time complexity of an algorithm. So the time complexity of an algorithm is directly related with the logic that you are using inside the control structures. So the time complexity is directly related to the control structures that you are using. How many number of times that the looping is going to be executed, how many number of times that the program is going to give the desired output with the less number of iterations, that will account to have a less time complexity. So the algorithmic design technique that you are going to use must reduce the time complexity of your algorithm. Why do we need to find the time complexity? Is the time complexity is the most important one? Yes. When we compare the time complexity with the space complexity, time complexity is more important to compare the performance of any two solution if it is existing for a problem. When you have many algorithms for a single problem, then you need to find which algorithm is most efficient. So time complexity plays a major role, and it is used to determine which is an efficient algorithm. And now when you take the time complexity, it is not the actual method or it is not the actual measure or the total time taken by your program to get executed. It is actually the number of times that the statement present in your control structures or the logic gets executed. So the time complexity is measured how the number of statements that are executed for how many number of times. That is what is the original time complexity of the program. So the time complexity is directly related to the logic that you have used behind your problem. So the time complexity is used for measuring the performance of any two algorithm, and it is used for determining which algorithm is best. So to find the time complexity of the instruction present in the program, suppose if your program contains a single statement, so the time complexity will be a constant one, order of 1. You can see the specified example here. Now coming to the second one, when you have a for loop where your for loop starts from 0 to n. So it is clear that your for loop is going to be executed n number of times. So the logic that you have used inside your for loop is a single statement. So that single statement will be compulsorily running for n number of times. So the time complexity of the specified for loop will be having order of n, which is a linear time complexity. Now coming to the third example, when you have a nested for loops, the outer loop is the I loop and the inner is the j loop, where the outer for loop is also will be executed n number of times and the inner for loop will also be executed n number of times. So the statements that is present inside the inner for loop, that is a j loop, will be executed n number of times. So n into n, it is order of n square. So the time complexity of the nested for loop is n square. Whenever we have a nested for loop, we perform multiplication rule for finding the time complexity of the nested for loop. So when we consider the while loop, here in the given example, the while loop will be executed high number of times. Here the n iteration depends upon the value present in the high variable. So here the thing is, the while loop will be getting executed for the value present in the high. So high number of times the while loop is going to be executed. But we have to see that what is the logic that you have used inside your while loop. So here there is a variable mid. The value of the mid is nothing but the half of the total value of low and high. So the low variable is checked with the high variable, and the n number of times execution takes place only if the low and the high remains with the same value, and only if the low value alone is getting incremented inside while loop. Then the time complexity of this program will be order of n. But whereas the variable low alone is not incremented with the value 1. Here either the if condition is satisfied, or either if it is else condition is satisfied, either your high or low variable is going to be incremented or decremented with the mid value. So finally the while loop is somehow it is going to be executed only half of the value of the high variable. So it is very clear that the entire while loop or the statement that is present inside the while loop is only going to be executed half of the times. Or if both the conditions are not satisfied, anyhow the else part, the break statement will be getting executed. Somehow it is going to be executed only half the number of times. So the time complexity for this given example while loop is order of log n, which is a logarithmic time complexity. Now let us see how the time complexity of an algorithm varies based on the methodology that you make it. For example, assume that you are traveling in a bus with the 60 passengers. Now you have lost your mobile. How will you find the mobile? What is the methodology to find the mobile that you have lost? For example, the time complexity of the algorithm that you are going to design may be order of n. When you are going and asking to each passengers whether they are having your mobile or not, then your time complexity become order of n. Now suppose the next alternative algorithm is that if you go to the first person and ask whether you have the mobile, and you ask the same first person to ask, you are asking him that whether the remaining passengers are having your mobile or not, then here comes your time complexity of your algorithm will be order of n square. Now how can you improve the efficiency of the algorithm that you will design? So you are dividing the passengers into two, left side passengers and right side passengers. You are going and asking to one side whether and the first person of present in the one side whether they have the mobile or not. Likewise the same thing you are going to ask to the right hand side of the passengers. Then based on the answer you are going to decide what is the next step that you are going to move, whether to select the left side of the passengers or the right side of the passengers. If it is left side, then again you are dividing the number of passengers into two and you are asking the same question to both the sides. Likewise, you are keeping on asking to each and every one person present in the half of the passengers until you are reaching with the one passengers who are having your mobile. Then here comes your time complexity is order of log n. So here the time complexity can be analyzed either in the average case, worst case or best case complexity. In your best case complexity, you will be able to find your mobile with the very first person that you are asking. That is what is the best case time complexity, which is order of 1. When you are able to find your mobile by processing with the half of the passengers, then it is an average case analysis. When you are taking all the passengers to account for checking your mobile, then it is what is the worst case analysis. But the time complexity must be most efficient and you have a less time complexity in the worst case analysis. This is how you can understand what is meant by the best case, average case and the worst case complexities. The big O notation describes the worst case scenario and it is used for finding the worst case time complexity of an algorithm. Similarly, your theta notation is used for finding the average case complexity and the omega notation is used for finding the best case complexity. By using these asymptotic algorithmic notation, you try to find the efficiency of the algorithm in terms of time complexity. Let us see the time complexity for the for loop. So, in the first example where there is a single for loop where the number of iteration is going to be n number of times. So, it is really very clear that the time complexity is order of n. Whereas, when we consider the second example, the total number of iteration is n into n where it is n square. So, the time complexity becomes the order of n square. That is, the statement that is present inside the for loop is going to be executed for n square number of times. Coming to the nested for loops, where the outer for loop is going to be executed for n number of times and the inner for loop is going to be executed for n number of times. So, by multiplying both the loops, we will be having the time complexity of order of n square, where the statement that is present inside the inner for loop will be executed for n square number of times. So, the time complexity is order of n square. When we consider this example, here you have a two for loop, that is nested loop is present, where the outer for loop I equal to 0, I is less than n, the outer for loop is going to be executed for n number of times. Whereas when you see the inner j loop, the j loop is initialized from the value I and j less than 0. So, when I is 1, j also will become 1 and 1 less than 0, the condition never gets satisfied. Again, when the I loop gets incremented, I is incremented to 2. That moment 2 is less than n, condition satisfied and it get inside. When it is coming to the j loop, j is again 2 and 2 less than 0. So, 2 less than 0 is false. So, here we understand that the inner j loop never gets executed. So, the total number of iteration that is performed by this nested loop is the outer for loop n number of times. So, the time complexity of this example is order of n. Here comes the time complexity for a while loop. Here you have two while loop, that is what is a nested while loop, where the outer while loop is depend upon the value I and n, where the inner while loop depend upon the value of j and n. So, it is very clear that the outer I loop is going to be executed for n number of times. But before the starting of the inner while loop, the j value is initialized to 1. And when the inner j loop is executed, the statement inside the j loop is that j is multiplied with the value 2. So, for each number of iteration, the value of j is incremented by twice. Then when the j condition is checked with the n value, it is clear that the value of j is incremented twice. So, the entire inner while loop gets executed only half of the n number of times. So, it is what is n by 2. So, when we see the time complexity of the outer for loop as order of n and the inner for loop as n by 2. So, n plus n by 2, it is nothing but the time complexity is order of n log n. Let us see the time complexity for a sequence of statements. Here you have a two for loop followed by a statement. Now, when you take the j loop, this is executed for n square number of times. So, the time complexity is order of n square. Now, when we consider the k loop, it is going to be executed for n number of times. So, it is order of n. The statement is going to be running for 1, that is order of 1, constant time complexity. So whenever we find the time complexity for a sequence of statements, then you go for making addition rule. Whereas whenever you are calculating the time complexity of the nested loops, then you go for performing the multiplicative rule. Now you have to add up all the time complexity of the sequence of statements. So you will have order of n square plus n plus 1. So here the highest order of this time complexity is order of n square. So the time complexity of the sequence of this statement is order of n square. Now you may have a doubt, why can't the time complexity is order of n square plus n plus 1? Why it is order of n square? Why do we want to use the multiplicative rule? It is very clear that the entire program is going to perform multi-programming. That is what? It is going to perform multitasking, where each and every process is going to be performing thread level execution. So the maximum time taken by a thread will be the time complexity of the entire code. So here the maximum time taken by a particular control structure is order of n square. So the time complexity of this sequence of statement is order of n square. The time complexity for this example is that the first if loop will be taking order of n square plus 1, since it is having a 2 for loop. Coming to the else, that else condition will be executed for order of n cube plus 1, followed by order of 1. So the maximum time taken by executing this program is order of n cube. So the time complexity is order of n cube. Let us see some programming examples for finding the time complexity. So here when we take this code, it is having a single statement as printf statement, where it is printing hello world. So the time complexity of this program is going to be order of 1, where it does not have any control structures. So the time complexity is order of 1. Here comes the next program, where the same hello world statement is printed for n number of times, where n may be either it can be predefined or it can be retrieved from the user at runtime. So however, the hello world is going to be printed for n number of times. So the time complexity is order of n. Here we have some function definitions. When we take the first function definition, you have the function sum, and it is returning the added 2 values. So here the time taken to execute this function is going to be order of 1. You don't have any number of iteration, so the time complexity is order of 1. When we take the second function definition, where the value that it is having the parameter is an array and the number of values present in the array. So here this function is performing the addition of all the values present in the array, and the final added value is stored in the variable sum. So the statement is sum. The statement is going to be executed n number of times. So the time complexity of this function will be order of n. So here comes some difference in the code statement. So here initially, before the while loop is getting executed, the I value is initialized to 1, and the while loop is getting executed based on the value of I, and I is greater than 0. Whereas when the inner for loop is executed, it is a J loop which is going to be executed for n number of times. So after the for loop, your value of I is divided by 2. So it is very clear that the I loop is going to be executed only to the half the value of n. So the outer while loop is going to be executed for n by 2 times, and the inner J loop is going to be executed for n times. So the time complexity of this algorithm is, or this sequence of statement is, order of n log n. Do not forget to comment, like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you. Bye.